Good afternoon and welcome back to Cooking Wild with Ray. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit more exotic. We're going to be doing bear steaks cooked with shallots, apricot jelly, served over baked potatoes with a side of coleslaw. Everything will be done from scratch. Hopefully this can be replicated by some of you using pork chops if you don't like bear or deer. Here today we'll be using roughly half of this head of cabbage, one large carrot, an onion. We're using some canola oil, some lemon juice, garlic powder, a little bit of vinegar, some mustard powder, along with some salt, pepper, a little bit of sugar. And we'll have all this mixed in, set aside in the fridge later on to be served as a side. Taking the liberty of rough chopping the cabbage, doing the onions, doing the carrots in a fine julienne. It's roughly a cup and a half. That's roughly 3.5 cups of cabbage, and that's one whole onion. Here I've taken the liberty of putting in 4 tablespoons of white sugar, about 2/3 of a cup of canola oil, the same amount of white vinegar, approximately 2/3 of a cup, a whole heaping tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of ground mustard, a tablespoon and a half of ground pepper, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This will all get mixed in together evenly, so the oils and the sugars will have a good coating, and it'll be put in the fridge for about 2 to 3 hours prior to serving dinner. Here we go what the product looks like when it's all mixed up. Carrots give it a nice color. The oil and sugar give it a nice coating. And as the day progresses, with this being cooled off, the sugar and the oils will blend right in. You'll have a delicious salad for a side. Welcome back to the next installment of this video that we're doing bear steaks and an apple jelly sauce with baked potatoes. Now comes the fun part of getting the bear steaks prepped, ready, floured, and then we're going to fry the shallots in some real butter, not any of this margarine crap or oils. We're going to go with the real stuff. Once we got the shallots all caramelized, we'll take them out of the frying pan, we'll put them aside. Then we'll do our bear steaks that were lightly floured. Now let's get to it. Here we go, we got 2 small shallots. We're going to get this ready. Kind of hard to do this all one-handed here, so I'm going to get these prepped. I'll show you the next stage. Here, as our butter melts down, we're going to start getting our bear steaks ready. They're not very big bear steaks. Let's see. We're going to take these. They've already been sliced. They're not too thick. They're about 1/2 inch thick. And we're going to get them floured up, and nothing more than just regular general purpose household flour. Now that we've got our butter on, not too hot so it doesn't burn, we're going to add shallots in. Make sure they're evenly distributed in the pan. You're just going to want to get these lightly caramelized. You don't want to burn them. And once they're up and ready, start to fry. Cover them up a little bit. Here are our bear steaks. They're all, like I said, they're lightly floured. That's all we want. Is just a light coating on them. That's going to help later on when we add our bear steaks back into our re-liquefied apricot jelly. It'll help absorb all the flavor and sweetness of the jelly. There we go. That didn't take all of a minute and a half, 2 minutes. See, our shallots are just starting to lightly caramelize. Now here we're going to put them aside because we're going to reintroduce them into our pan in a few minutes. So here in our pan, still have some butter. We're going to add our bear steaks. These won't take too long to cook since they're not too thick. And just like any other bear meat, you're going to want to make sure it's cooked throughout, just like pork. Here it's going to give them a light turnover. See how the flour is giving it a nice brown. You know, we're done on this side. And there we go. Give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to pull them off, and we're going to set them aside with our shallots. We're just going to check our bear steaks. There we go. Beautifully done. These should be a little bit more on the well done side, not medium rare. Now that we see that we've got an even caramelization and cooked throughout, we're going to pull these off. We're going to set them along with our shallots. Now here in our pan, we're going to reduce our heat to a medium. We're not going to deglaze it with anything. This is where we're going to add our apricot jam. Here we've incorporated about half of a 500 milliliter jar of apricot jam into a medium saucepan. And with this, you'll see the jam reliquefies. Now that our jam is reliquefied, we're going to take all of our pieces of bear, we're going to reintroduce them into the apricot jelly. We're going to take our shallots and we're going to reintroduce them as well. So now that we've reached this point, we're going to take this, we're going to reduce to a low simmer, and then we're going to let this be for about 20 to 22 minutes and just let everything go. But at about the 11 or 12 minute mark, we're going to take it and we're going to flip everything over. Alright, just midway through our cooking here, about, like I said, 10 to 12 minutes along, we're going to flip these over so we get a good even coating of our apricot jelly all over our bear steaks. And like I said again, you can do this with deer, moose, pork, anything that's got a little bit of fat to it. It helps. But by flipping this over, you're going to caramelize everything with a sugary coating. And you've seen how much coloration and extra caramelization that we've gotten out of our apricot jelly here. And there again, if you don't like apricot jelly, you can use apples, raspberries, strawberries. My recommendations though is try and get a jelly or a jam that doesn't have any seeds in it, as you'll be picking seeds while you eat, which isn't very comfortable, especially those of us who are getting to that point of having dentures or implants. This has been on 21 minutes. See how our bear steaks are nicely coated, cooked all the way around. You have a deep color. Our apricot jelly also has a nice, well caramelized coloration. You can still see the pieces of shallot in there. Here I've taken the time, I've already plated my potatoes, and as with any meat, serving on a warm plate makes a difference. So here we're going to give ourselves a portion for ourselves, and then we're going to take some of this lovely caramelized jam that's been re-liquefied, and that's what we're going to pour on our potatoes with the shallots to get all of that flavor, so you don't have to use any butter. So that's that. And I almost forgot our coleslaw that we made this morning. And there we go. Bon appetit. And yes, here's our #1 taste tester, Cooper. He's waiting patiently for his part too.